Good morning and welcome back to the Sage Sorority. I'm your host, Chantel. How are we all doing, guys? Happy Thursday. I hope everyone is having an amazing week and having a great day so far. I have been having a super busy week and I have an even busier kind of later half of the week, like end of the week and weekend. I went to an amazing dinner last night at Soho Muse House, hosted by Ashita Cabra and Flo Vanderspeck. Flo Vanderspeck is the head of a PR firm here in London, and Ashita is the founder and CEO of By Rotation. It is a circular fashion rental service, very popular for those who are maybe sort of familiar with it, usually in the UK or the US. And it was just like a supper club of like-minded women. It was really, really good, super insightful, and it was at Soho Muse House, which is like the elite Soho House for those that don't know. It is a Soho House that is only eligible if you are a member for at least, or you have been a member for at least, I think, 10 years, 15 years, something like that. So super exclusive, and it was nice to have the dinner and have some bubbles and a lot of good conversation. I love things like that. I truly am interested in connecting with people both offline and online, but it was good. It was such a curated group. There was about 12 of us, but all the women there were so successful and intelligent and personable, all in their respective rights. It was such a great evening. So if you are new here, welcome. The Sage Sorority is where we talk about self-concept, sisterhood, and the various seasons of our lives, all through really honest, candid, big sister style conversations. Like I said, I'm your host, Chantel Russo, and I'm here in your ears every Thursday. And if you are an OG listener, welcome back. I hope you are having a fabulous morning or afternoon or evening. Thank you so much for being a part of this growing, budding community. This show grows purely from word of mouth, guys. So if you love today's episode, or if you just love the vibe and love what I'm doing here, please share it with a friend or post it to your Instagram stories and tag me. I love to see where you are listening from. Okay, so as you can tell by today's title, we are doing an AMA, or what I like to call an Ask a Sage setup. I always tell you guys to send in your questions because I love to help if you're just curious or if you want advice, whatever it is. There's always an anonymous link in the show notes, and that's just the easiest way to send in questions. Of course, you can always DM me on Instagram at Chantel Russo or the show at the Sage Sorority. And of course, you can always pop over an email if it's super lengthy at thesagesorority@gmail.com. I love to mix it up with AMAs. They are probably my favorite thing to do. So please send in your questions. I truly, truly love this style of episode and I want to do them more often. Okay, so like I said, today's an AMA and we have some quick fire questions about me. You guys seem to be very interested in your host, which is totally fine with me. And we'll answer some of those before we get into some deeper stuff, which I think will be very thought-provoking. So you let me know. Okay, so question number 1, summer or winter? Okay, I was born in December, and although that's the truth, I do feel like I have to say summer, but I will preface this with saying I'm not one of those people that hates winter. I actually don't. I hate the gray, which I know is ironic because I live in London, but a winter day that's very sunny, I love. I truly believe there's no such thing as bad weather, just bad gear. And I know that's annoying to hear because, you know, who wants to be wet? But I actually don't hate winter. I think winter is dreadful, like February, if you're not like skiing and stuff, just because it really drags on. Like when it's clear that it should be spring, then like that is the most annoying thing. And then snow is not fun if you have to drive in it. Like, because I don't drive anymore or I don't drive in London, like those things don't really affect me anymore. But at the time when I lived in Toronto, awful. But then when I lived downtown in Toronto, I loved snow days because there was less people. The clubs were the best. The bars were the best. You didn't have people coming in from the suburbs. Sorry, not sorry. And it was just the best vibe. So I have to say summer because I feel like that's the truth, but I don't hate winter. And yeah, I'm a December baby. So what more could I ask for? Question number 2, how tall am I? So I'm 5'5". I like to believe in my head I'm 5'6", but I'm actually 5'5", which people seem to think that I would be taller, but I'm not. Truly 5'5" girly. Question number 3, why so inactive? So I actually LOL'd when I saw this because I wouldn't say that I'm inactive on any socials. I think between the Sage Sorority and my own socials, I think I'm pretty there. I'm pretty present. But on stories, I can definitely go through phases where I'm uploading and then when I'm not uploading. And I think actually I take that back. On Instagram, like actual posts, I don't often post much. I've been posting a lot on trial reels, just kind of flirting around with it. And I think like the grid hesitation and the grid fear on Instagram is a real thing. Like it's not a genuine fear, but it's more like, this isn't interesting. Does anyone care? And oh, these pictures were so long ago. So I can definitely like get in my head when it comes to posting on Instagram. I do wish I post more because I definitely take pictures and I'm like, I really should post more, but I usually just take my nice pictures and make them real covers. And I'm just like, okay, the feed looks pretty. There are my outfits. There you go. So it's not that I'm inactive. I'm just kind of like in a space where what do I want to share? Do people care? And sometimes I just like to dial it back, and not because I'm scared or I'm shy, but it's truly because I have a love-hate relationship with Instagram. I've also been on Instagram for a very long time. I think I joined maybe 9 months after the app launched, and that was over 10 years ago, 11 years ago. So I've been on Instagram for a very long time. And I think it's just a little bit of a fatigue. And I find it a bit annoying sometimes as like a producer and also as a consumer. So I'm not inactive. If I'm offline, I'm definitely online IRL. There's lots of things that I just don't post or I don't post lots of. But yeah, honestly, if you want the most up-to-date for my content, it's the Sage Sorority every Thursday at 8 a.m. GMT. You know what it is. And TikTok, because TikTok is just where I'm at. And stories. But if I flake on stories, trust me, there's a TikTok in there. Okay, I love this question. Top 10 products, any category, doesn't matter. Okay, so I thought long and hard about this. So the Edition candle, absolutely. I'm not going to say my phone because that's cheesy. My Pure Encapsulations vitamin B12 gives me so much energy. Absolutely love. And I think Pure Encapsulations makes the best and cleanest supplements on the market. I would say my Victoria Beckham lip liner in number 4, MAC Kinda Sexy lipstick, and Fenty lip gloss in Fussy. So how many is that now? 5. My Four Seasons robe, I got it from the Four Seasons in Toronto. I love it. It's cozy, it's chic, and it's a little piece of Toronto that I wear every day. So we're at 6. Armani Privé perfume in Rouge Malachite, I think. Yeah, that's like my absolute favorite. I love that perfume so much. And if I had to start over my collection, that's the first thing I would buy. Where are we now at 8? Vintage Levi's 501s. 100%. So now we're at 9, and a pair of gold studded earrings, or my Cartier watch. Probably my Cartier watch. I'll take it back. So yeah, those are my top 10 products. Question number 5, how are you? I thought this was so sweet and genuine and pure. So if you are listening and you wrote that, I thought that was so kind. Thank you. I would say, honestly, I'm good. Not like the best I've ever been, but I'm good. Like, yeah, things are good. Things are up and up. Harvest season is real for me. And I feel like I'm reaping a little bit of the benefits of seeds that I've planted over the past few months, which is always a nice feeling. It is always a nice feeling to see things come to fruition. And sometimes it's not even things that you necessarily thought, or it's not in the way you thought, right? Listen, there's a lot of beauty in neutrality and things not being boring, but things not being chaotic either. And maybe you're not on top of the world, but you're also like not depressed. I think that is a beautiful thing. I have a busy week, like I said, and although it's a bit like crazy, it's also a good thing, and things are moving and they feel like they're moving in a really progressive way, both personally and professionally. So yeah, like I feel good. No complaints, truly. Question number 6, would you say that you're happy? Follow up to that question. Yes, I am happy. I would say I'm pretty much always happy. And I don't mean happy, elated, toxic positivity. I'm just someone who's very grounded in gratitude. I have the 5-minute journal, which I've been really rocking with over the last couple months. Highly recommend. And there's just always something to be grateful for. Sometimes it's something small, like waking up to sunshine, having coffee in bed, not having anything to do before noon, things like that. Like, I never fail to realize how lucky and fortunate I am to wake up in a home that is safe and secure and, the rent is paid. Like, I don't take those things for granted at all, even though I'm nowhere close to where I want to be. Those things I do not take for granted at all. having food to eat and lights to turn on and heat to warm me up and cozy bed sheets and all of those things that are so little and neutral, and we just live on autopilot, and I get it. I don't take those things for granted at all. So yeah, I'm happy. Question number 7. This one was not about me, which I love. Someone asked, what would you do if a friend just started copying your whole vibe? Like the way you speak, outfits, things like that. And again, I LOL'd because I have been there. And it's funny. I'm going to give like 2 responses, but it's funny because one time I did say that to a friend in like a joking way, like, oh my gosh, like, babe, like you have to buy your own things, like, and she was like, okay, but you're an influencer. And I was like, you know what? You're right. Like, this is also it. This is the whole point, right? I put things on the internet to share and inspire. And it's like, who am I to not take someone up when they are inspired? Like, isn't that what the fuck I'm doing? Like, duh. So I thought that was a good point. And it's something I've never forgotten. That happened like many years ago and I never forgot it. On the flip side, I understand the annoyance. Like, little things like Regina wears pink on Wednesdays, so now I'm going to wear pink on Wednesdays. Like, just like little things like that, I think can be annoying, especially when someone doesn't give credit where credit's due. And I know that we don't really live in that kind of world, so it's a bit weird, if you just all of a sudden start wearing the color red and someone that your friend who never really wore red, that now wears red, it's also kind of just like, what is she supposed to say? Sometimes people don't even realize because again, like we are the sum of the people that we spend the most time with. So of course things are going to rub off on you and you might not even think of it in a copying way. You might just see it in more of like a marketing way. Like, they say you have to see something 7 times before you buy it. It's kind of like the same idea. If I see my friend wear gold hoops and I think it looks so nice on her and I see her wear it all the time, I might be more inspired to wear gold hoops and maybe before that I wouldn't. And it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm like copying her. I think admiration is nice. And you should always ask yourself, is this rooted in like real admiration or is there a bit of like malice? And you have to really like check yourself to make sure that you're not being paranoid. You yourself are not being a jerk. But I've also been there when it's like you have no problem like, like taking what I'm doing and rolling it into something yourself. You're not giving me any credit. And you're acting like this is an original thought. I think that's where maybe I get annoyed. And like I said, I've been through this before and in pretty recent times where it's like you're just taking my thoughts and packaging them as your own. And that has happened to me more with my own spoken word, things I say, or my own personal aesthetic and taste. And I don't even mean that in a clothing beauty sense. I mean that in the way I look at the world and the wine I like and all that kind of stuff. That is where I draw the line. And I'm like, I don't like that because you're just taking my ish and my point of view and repackaging it as if it's your own original thought. You just kind of have to take it on the chin, take it with a grain of salt. Just know that, some of us do and some of us don't. Some of us have it and some of us won't. And that's it. Protect your originality, obviously, but you can't become paranoid about it either because that just turns you into a very nasty people. People can steal and borrow anything that you create, but they truly do not have the essence. They do not have the sauce. And, if this is a real friend, just encourage them to find and create their own. I hope this helps. Question number 8, and I love this one. Dating someone with money who buys you nice things or someone who spends more time with you. So I love this because it's like very cheeky, but I also hate questions like this because 1, they're only phrased to women, and 2, it begets a scarcity mindset that you can only ever have money or love. And it's so funny because this question actually doesn't say anything about love. It's just someone who spends more time with you. I'm going to say dating someone with money who buys you nice things. Like, listen, okay? Let me make myself perfectly clear. I don't believe in like a scarcity mindset when it comes to dating and that we have to really relegate ourselves to one or the other. I value ambition and emotional presence equally, generosity and a kind person equally. Obviously, money without any type of warmth or affection feels transactional, but just time with no direction, no real investment also wouldn't work for me. So I guess like I'm kind of answering out of both sides of my mouth, but you asked the question, so I'll provide the answer. I would probably go with dating someone who buys me nice things, but to be honest, neither of those situations would ever be long-term for me because in both those situations, I'm at a loss and I don't believe in dating in a deficit. I hope that makes sense. Okay, question, I think 10. I've got one more after this. Would you end your relationship if you were cheated on? So I think that cheating is layered and nuanced in terms of the reasons why people cheat and the situations that brought them there. And I'm not a love psychologist or relationship psychologist, and I think everyone is different. When it comes down to cheating, the person has to be self-aware enough to know like what brought them there. The biggest part is the remorse. Like how remorseful do they feel? Do they own up to what they did completely? Only if you have those things can you decide if you want to stay. I don't think you can decide if you want to stay and expect happiness if you don't have those things. But for me, at least in this point in my life and everything I know about myself, I would 1000% leave. It's just not something that I want to put up with. It's not a stain that I want on my relationship. I don't necessarily think the person is heinous or evil. I mean, obviously, it just depends on how the situation went down. Maybe I would forgive, maybe because he'll make mistakes. But for me, that's not something I would ever forget. And I think that I would end up side-eyeing that person all the time. And I think that I can forgive you for making a mistake because you're human and that's part of the human experience. But I can also respect that that's not a mistake that I want to stick around for, if that makes sense. So I think trust is everything in a relationship. If you're a man and you're like, I want to have more sex with women and be around badder bitches and all this, they have to trust you. Trust and safety is everything in a relationship. And I think men only classify that in a physical sense. But for most women, it's far more emotional than anything else. And I think that for a woman, when the trust and or safety is gone in a relationship, it will just never be the same. And I don't see myself getting back to as good of a place as I was before that incident. I know some people say the infidelity made our relationship stronger. And I think, yeah, anything in this world is possible. But for me, I don't foresee that for myself. So for me, I'd have to leave. Quick pause here. If any of these questions are hitting a little too close to home and you want to unpack what's coming up for you, I do offer one-to-one coaching sessions. It's not therapy, but it's truly grounded conversation and clarity with someone who's walked through a few of the same fires in this lifetime. You can book a single session or a monthly series. Everything is linked in the show notes, and I hope to talk to you very soon. Okay, final question. And this was another funny one. How did you end up like this? And I don't even know what this person means. Like, I don't know if they mean it in a positive way. I don't know if they mean it in a negative way. I don't know if they mean it in like an existential way. Like, I honestly have no idea. And that's what also kind of makes it a little fun. The pieces of me, I would say therapy, heartbreak, a lot of reading, radical self-awareness, self-worth, and self-respect built chip by chip over time. Years of choosing gratitude above anything else, being naturally curious and diving into that curiosity and having it propel me throughout my life, just even from a place of interest for no personal gain, wild pragmatism, but a little optimistic. I think wisdom and knowledge and self-discovery is just a little too underrated, in my opinion, in this world. And I think pushing past the discomfort in your life can yield amazing benefits, and sitting with the discomfort. And that can include your own heartbreak, and the heartbreak that other people inflict on you, I think is really powerful. Letting yourself cry, letting yourself even be embarrassed that you're crying, like letting yourself truly feel the feels, not only the good ones, but the bad ones, and being able to be like, okay, what did I learn from that? What can I take moving forward? I think that's a piece that people miss after the heartbreak. They just kind of wallow and they forget to go inward and ask themselves the real questions. What did you learn? How can you be better? And remember that, because again, you can do as much work as you want, but nothing in life is the same as when you're doing the actual test, right? The work is the work, but we know the work is working in the test, and the test is relationships, it's real life, it's being triggered and going A, not B, et cetera, et cetera. I think never hiding from my pain and being radically honest with myself, my good, my bad, and my ugly, I think has always really served me well, because no one can pull me up on me. No one on this earth knows me as well as I know myself. And I want all of that for you guys. And it's an easy thing to say, maybe even a little bit trite, but I truly mean it. Like, You can't embarrass me about myself. You can't make me feel shame about myself. Like no one can pull me up on me because I know it all. I know it all. I'm willing to see it all. I'm willing to unfold it all. And I'm willing to not hang my head in shame for any of it. I think is really key, but it's a lifelong journey. And I think 30 years from now, I will hopefully be listening to this and be like, girl, you thought you knew, but you had no idea. Like I eagerly want that. And I hope that for me and for all of you. So how did I end up like this? TLDR, a mishmash of life experiences, a mishmash of books, a little bit of curiosity, heaps of gratitude, and a little bit of spiritualism as well. Knowing that you don't get too high with the highs and too low with the lows, and everything in life is temporary, even the good stuff. And that's it. If you enjoyed today's Ask a Sage AMA, please take a moment to leave a 5-star review on Apple or Spotify. It honestly makes the world of a difference, guys. We only have, I think, 3 or 4 5-star reviews on Apple, and the majority of this podcast, like over 50% of you guys listen on Apple Podcasts. So please go on the app and leave a review. If you think you already did, just double check because you can't leave it twice. It honestly makes such a difference, helps more women find the show and gives the show more credibility. And don't forget, the anonymous submission link for future AMA episodes is always live. You can ask about friendship, confidence, dating, sisterhood, life, family, kids, men, sex, whatever you want. It's always in the show notes for you. Okay, my loves, that's it for this week's episode of the Sage Sorority. I hope you guys had a good one. I hope you guys liked it. I live for an AMA, so please keep sending in your questions. You are an amazing person to know, so let this be a reminder to get to know you. I'm leaving you on the same beautiful words that I did last week. I love you so much. Have an amazing week and an amazing weekend. Bye.